Okay, so again, pause the video, have a read, and see what you think. Right away, I'm thinking there's a circle, so we're going to have to remember our circle equations. Well, we're going to use them, we're going to have to remember them because they are given. C is pi d, and the area is pi r squared. They're given them, so don't stress about them. I don't know why this keeps popping on the side. Over. So, calculate the minimum cost of a safety railing. So we're going to have a safety railing all the way around the pool. Okay, all the way around the edge. There'll be two gaps in the pool. Okay, so right away I'm thinking the perimeter, and we need to do the perimeter. And I'm going to have to take away 125 centimeters times by 2. Okay, that's fine. And then we'll do the cost of it. So what's the perimeter going to be? Well, that's 36.5 and that's 36.5. So right away I'd say I've got 36.5 times 2. And I'm still going to take away that. And at this point I'll change it. That's 1.25 meters multiplied by 2. Okay. And what else do I need from a perimeter? I'll just make sure I've got that in a little box. The perimeter, well, I need this length, which is the same as that one, and I also need this length. Now, if that's 10, that's a radius, so that's 10 as well. So I'm going to add on, I'll put this in green just to make it clear, 10 times 2. And now I also need to add in the curved length. So that is 1/4 of the circumference of the circle. So if I've got a circle like this, I'm just looking for 1/4 of it, that bit there. So how do I work out the circumference? Well, it's pi d, isn't it? So I'd say that that's pi times the diameter, which is 20. My diameter is 20, so the radius is 10, and I'm told the radius is 10. So pi times d, and I'm going to divide that by 4 because I'm looking for a quarter. A little 90 in there tells you it's a quarter as well. And I need to do that again times by 2 because there's 2 of them. So calculator's out, 36.5 multiplied by 2. And see how again, just taking your time with the working just helps you make sure you're not missing out anything at all, okay? So pi times the diameter of 20, so that's my full circle. Divide it by 4 gives me the quarter circle, and then times it by 2 because there's 2 of them. And that comes out as 31.4. So that's my full perimeter. And from that, I'm going to take away, that's going to be 2.5. Okay. So I've got 73 plus 20 plus 31.4, take away the gap. So I've got 121.9 meters. Alrighty. From that, I'm then going to say what's sold in 3 meter lengths. Okay, so I need to divide that by 3. So 121.9 divided by 3. So that comes out as 40.6333, etc. So that means it's 40 and a bit. So that means I need 41 sections because I can't buy a bit of a section. I can't go in and say, hey mate, after 0.633 of a unit, it's going to be 41. So that's me out how many sections I've got. That's nice. And let's see if we can just scroll down a little bit. Very good. So again, that's like kind of, you know, a separate section. So I'll put a wee line there. And then if each one costs 11.49, I'll say, well, 41 multiplied by 11.49. So 41 times 11.49. Don't put in don't put in that number in your calculator. It's 41. Okay, that's going to come out as 471 and 9 pence, and that's you done. So a little bit of working involved there. You know, the money is half of the marks, I think. But just take your time with this. All you're really doing is using the circle equation. That's about as hard as it is. And reading through the question. You know, these questions are big and wordy. Just keep ticking off what you've done. Okay. And I think we've got one more question and then we'll call it on perimeter. Trying to go over a little bit. There we go, that's nice and neat. So the length of ribbon needed for the cake. So ribbon's placed around the outside of the love heart. So we're going all the way around, right? The top of the cake is semicircles. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a wee line just to let me see what's going on there. The ribbon needs to be a length of the perimeter plus the 2.8. So I'm looking for perimeter plus 2.8 centimeters. Presumably there's like a wee overlap at the end. Calculate the length needed. No calculator this time. So my perimeter, let's start labeling up, is going to be 34 plus the 34. And that's the two lengths that I know. So I'll keep them in red. Okay, 34 and 34. But to that I'm also going to add on the two semicircles. Yeah. So they effectively form one circle, don't they? So I'm just going to say plus pi d, that's the bit in green, and the plus 2.8 was the little overlap, wasn't it? So that's the overlap, that's the circle, and this is the triangle. And I'll just keep that, I'm going to put that in blue. Okay, there we go. So let's get working. So we've got 68, that's quite easy for the triangle. And the pi, I'm taking that as 3.14. And the diameter, okay, well that's 40, so that means 20 and 20. So the diameter is 20. Very good. And my overlap is 2.8. So this sum here is probably the hardest sum to do. But it's not even that hard. It's just 31.4 times 2. So that's going to be 62.8. So if I add them all together, I'll do this in black, that'll be 68 plus 62. I won't do it in black, I'll do it in their regular numbers, regular colours. So it's 68 plus 62.8 plus 2.8. And there's no calculator for that, so I actually am going to rewrite that as a chimney sum. Yeah. Because we need to do a little chimney sum for that. And I'll put a little 0.0 in here, very good. So if I add them all together, 8 and 8 gives me 16. 10, that's going to give me 13, and another 13. And just remember your units. So very similar to before. It's a really good question because they're actually more similar than a lot of the other topics. So, I hope you've noticed that. But each time, it's all about using your equations you're given if you see a circle, or if you see a triangle using Pythagoras, and just taking your time to work through and substitute in. Okay, probably that the bit with the lengths, maybe that was new to some people. You have to round up the way for that because you can't, buy 40 and a bit. You can't buy a bit of something, you have to round up. If you need 1.999 of something, you have to buy 2. If you need 1.001 of something, you need to buy 2. You're not allowed to just kind of round down as it suits you. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. Really good question to do. And yeah, best of luck.